What is up, Magic User? It's your boy, the Big Cat, and we are back. We're gonna do our second box of Modern Horizons 3. Opened a pretty awesome box and still just like coming to terms with how much cool cards are in this set, from commons to uncommons, rares. I mean, this is really, if we compare this product to the last couple of summer's big products, Double Masters 2022, Commander Masters, I think this is probably one of the cooler Magic products in a while. It brings a ton of, there we go. It brings like a ton of value to so many different formats. So yeah, really cool product. Oh my golly, here we go. I gotta reset the camera. There we are. Yeah, really cool product though. Now we're all off center. Look at that. Okay, now we're ready. Yeah, so gonna open our second box of play boosters. The first one, check out the other video. Really cool stuff in there. Really excited. Also just launch weekend, so prices are just falling, but just some really cool cards in here. So yeah, join me. We'll take a look. Little token there on top. Got a foil. Golden Tail Trainer. Harbinger of the Sea. That beautiful merfolk. Not a blood moon. What do we call this? Wet moon? A wet folk? What is that? But it's a good little rare. We like that. Barbarian Ring. Nice little uncommon there. Ooh, Commander card. Commander Mythic. Didn't really open any of these in the other box. That's Satya, the Aether Flux Genius. He's the cover commander. What is this? Jeskai? I think that's Jeskai. I'm old. Sorry, guys. Jeskai in 1, he's got Menace and Haste. He's a 3/5 human artificer, so he's in Brea's world a little bit, no black. When he attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of up to one other target non-token creature you control. You get 2 energy. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay a mana. So energy, vehicles, this guy opens up a lot of doors. Artifact, like he does a lot of cool things. He's not an artifact himself though. We'll get to our uncommons. There's some really nice uncommons in this set as well. So, and again, like I said, with the commons, some great stuff for Pauper. So definitely take a look. Yeah, I've been kind of just sorting it all out myself because it was cool to just sit back and look through all the cards last night and think about, oh man, should I build a new Pauper deck? Could I brew a new commander? Like, really brings a lot to the table. So, Phyrexian Germ. If it's for your, living weapon, foil forest there. We'll do foils like that. And then Shattered Landscape. Little Mardu cycling land, not bad. Eldamri. So this guy's pretty interesting. There's been a lot of hype. People asking questions like, has he found a home? Is he spiking yet? 2 green and 1. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. And then for a green and tap, and you tap 2 untapped creatures you control. So quite a bit going on that cost. Reveal a card from your hand or the top card of your library. If you reveal a creature card, put it on the battlefield. This is great for Elf. Like, I'm going to throw this in Lathril. I think this guy plays huge. Mono green elf. I mean, this guy's just going to let you rip and keep flooding the board. And where you're missing card draw, you can just keep putting out guys, get those triggers, go wide and jam. So that's a really fun guy. I wonder if that's like elves in Modern. Is that what elves needed in Modern to get back in the game? Alrighty. Oh, man, again. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for bearing with me if you're still watching. I don't know why that keeps tipping. Let me just adjust it a little bit there. Hopefully that helps. Try to go a little quicker here. Okay, a little double side token. Ooh, foil Flare of Denial on top. That's a very nice foil to get. That's a very nice in our foil rare slot. We like to see it. Flare of Denial, fantastic. And Winter Moon, 2 of the kind of marquee rares for this. They'll probably find homes in some kind of Modern deck or a sideboard. Flare of Denial is you're gonna see that in commander lists forever now. And I mean, again, I mean, is this where merfolks come out? I mean, you can start playing guys and lock them in on islands with a Blood Moon and also have a counter spell at the ready, even when you're tapped out. Winter Moon, another great card. So some marquee stuff there. Decree of Justice downshifted. Love to see it. It's kind of been a feel bad lately when you open Decree of Justice at rare. It doesn't quite have the heft of being a rare anymore. Still a strong card. In the right deck, it's really good, but it's more of a, I'd say, a commander card. Does it close games in Modern? Like, does it do that? Okay. There's just a regular generical forest. We'll put that there. Ooh, foil Necro Dominance. So some really nice stuff there. Haven't opened a Necro Dominance in our first box and really wanted one. A foil doesn't hurt. I'm a black player. Quick story for your old pal, the Big Cat. Some of the first Magic cards I ever bought, you know, begging my parents for allowance in like 1995. Really nice too. Psychic Frog and Deserted Temple. So fantastic pack there. So I saved up, I think, some Christmas money or some birthday money or something in the summer because I was probably like 10 years old. And yeah, it was like 1994, 95, 95, I think. And I bought a starter of 4th edition, like a starter deck, and a starter of Ice Age. And, you know, I kind of just broke it into red, green, and made that my deck, and then white, blue, black, and made that my deck. You know, those are like learning to play Magic when you're 10. Back in 95, so like, you know, pre-internet. But oh, there's a Grist art card. Forest, man, all the forests. Evolutionary Witness. Anyhow, one of my first rares was Necropotence, and this was back when Necropotence was like even published in magazines as like one of the worst rares in the game. You know, Necro Bloom, Prost Bloom, like those busted decks hadn't really been created yet, and we didn't understand the power of Necro yet. And I remember taking Necro and feel bads and throwing it in the garbage can as a little kid. So that's why Necro, I play it now. It's a great card and it's so cool. And I'm a black mage, but dude, that I'll never forget, like throwing my first rare, which is Necropotence, a card that's still good, in the trash. Kudo, King Among Bears. Still waiting to see who cracks this and figures out something to do. Very good for the bear fans out there, but he's just Kudo. Rush of Inspiration, Fledgling Dragon, nice snow-covered wastes. We like to see those. Set those aside. And there we go. So yeah, really cool to see them kind of like, what if we go back to Necropotence? I mean, they've tried one time. Yawgmoth's Bargain, another card I love, and that card is just cracked. Yeah, Yawgmoth's Bargain is cracked. Infernal Captor in foil there, not a big deal. And then White Orchid Phantom, you know, I love this guy. Takes me back to like Alara block days. Just a 2-white, 2/2, couple abilities and a good utility. I love decks of like these little value dudes and you push the board, kind of that white weenie mid-range play. Priest of Titania, another favorite there. It That Heralds the End. Nice to see a little reprint on that guy. I believe that's from Battle for Zendikar back in the day. Crazy to think that was like 10 years ago, like going to the Oath of the Gatewatch DFZ release and stuff. Going to play in those. Mountain. Solstice Zealot. Abstruse Appropriation, great name. Black, white, and 2. It's devoid. It's an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. So it's kind of a Vindicate effect. Excuse me. When you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. So, I mean, what if it was like, hey, for one more in Vindicate, it's colorless, and then you can cast it? Like, that's such a strong card. It shows you where the power level of the game is at. The fact that it's like, for one colorless more, that's how much better Vindicate gets. That's kind of wild, right? Oh, another snow-covered waste. We'll pull that. Keep your wastes. Keep your snow-covered wastes. It's nice to have real ones and not have to buy them. You're at the pre-release and people are like, I don't want these, pick them up. Trust me, in the future, when you finally go around to build that deck, you need like 30 of them or 20 of them. You're going to be glad you're not shelling out $2 a pop. Foil Full Art Island, very nice. Scurry of Gremlins, because that's what you call it when there's a group of them. A murder of crows, a scurry of gremlins. And it's an energy enchantment. We're not going to read that whole thing. We'll just fly on by. Sowing Mycospawn is green and 3. It's an Eldrazi fungus. It has Devoid. It has Kicker of colorless and a generic mana. And when you cast the spell, search your library for a land, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. Note that that land does not come into play tapped, which is great. When you cast a spell, if it was kicked, exile target land. This sounds like a commander staple to me. Like when we talk about ramp, okay, it's got a body. And for 4, I mean, it's a rampant growth that gets non-basics and they aren't tapped. Like, if you're ramping, this is really good, and it can get a land with some real juice. And then later in the game, you can take out a big threat. I think this is a new commander staple. Reefworm, nice to see. Vexing Bauble, again, the uncommons in this are loaded, so definitely check out the whole set. There's value top to bottom. I mean, I can't, like I said, I think I've got some boomer Pauper decks, and I'm gonna revise my Pauper decks over the next few weeks with all the new cards from the last few years, but especially this set. Glaring Flesh Raker, whoa, that's gnarly. Detective's Phoenix. I don't know why the Detective has a Phoenix. Is this card any good? I'm not big on Phoenixes in general. Like, Bestow, Collect Evidence. Okay, it's an evidence guy. Throw that in the rare pile. Worn Power Stone, always nice to see ya. It's always going to be a card that, for the right deck, you're going to reach over and want to have an extra one of those. Okay, let's keep moving. Art cards. Get your art cards here. We're mixing all kinds of things. Oh, well, who cares? We'll figure it out. Wirewood Symbiote. Man, that's another classic. Return an elf. You control your hand. Untap target creature. Activate only once each turn. I mean, this is a good utility guy for an elf deck. Like, save your guy from damage and get an untap activation trigger. Like, this can set you up to really be defensive once your board state's set up with elves. So, good little creature. Strix Serenade. Swan Song's new little homie. Yeah, counter target artifact, creature, or planeswalker, and get a 2/2 bird. So the alternate Swan Song, and actually it's less the counter war and more like taking out threats for one. Another commander staple. Deep Analysis, we will always print that. Urza's Cave, again, I think that's a future commander staple. Search your library for a land card and put it on the battlefield tapped. Like, it can slot into any deck. It's also an Urza's land, and it can just go get anything. Like, that's a great card, great card. It's interesting with how they're working lands. They're going to start bringing land destruction back into Magic, but it's going to be less about like ruining your opponent's curve and more about controlling threats that are occupying the land's zone. Like, it's a really interesting evolution of Magic to see what they're doing. Okay, a rat token. That's a really cute rat, little Nezumi soldier guy. Expel the Unworthy. Springheart Nantuko, nice little Bestow Monk. Decree of Justice, Sink into Stupor, another really value uncommon. Man, blue commons and uncommons between Lord of the Rings and the last few sets, slip out the back. Like, there's a lot of nice like blue utility cards floating around right now. Volatile Stormdrake and foil. Man, our foils are doing nice. Like, Volatile Stormdrake is a great card. Blue and 1. This is the fixed Gilded Drake. Blue and 1, he's a 3/2, he's flying, he's got hexproof from activated and triggered abilities, so you can't do some weird like combo tricks like you could with Gilded Drake. When he enters the battlefield, exchange control of him and target creature an opponent controls. If you do, you get 4 energy. Then sacrifice that creature unless you pay the energy in. So kind of plays really well with that Satya deck, but a great foil hit. Like, love that. We've had some nice foils today. Fanatic of Ronus. Ooh, and a Recruiter. Man, so ripping in that pack. Fanatic of Ronus, just a big-bodied mana generator. Interesting to see where that home is. I've heard some discussion at 2. Do you really want a guy that adds green? But in the Ferocious deck, the 4 might really be a big hit, and it has Eternalize, so do you bust it out of the yard? There's some interesting things. Recruiter of the Guard, fantastic. Nice Conspiracy reprint, nice little mythic hit. And there we go. Okay. Aristocrats, humans, like, I think Orzhov Aristocrats really likes Recruiter. Get it on the field, get the creature you need with it, and then it becomes a great sacrifice outlet. And it's a human soldier. It's got a couple good tribes stapled on it. Alrighty, food token. Another Flage, very nice. So another little mythic there. Amphibian Downpour, so a little double rare, and an Emerald Medallion. So triple rare pack, very nice. Very nice there. Yeah, these boxes are loaded with value. It'll be interesting to see, like, if this hopefully this does not get printed or opened or sold as much as Modern Horizons 2. Just simply because I can't imagine what it'll do to price of some of these cards. There's just so many good cards. Rasheen, Roaring Prophet. Rasheen Meander is back for green, red, and 2. Giant Shaman, when she enters the battlefield, mills 6 cards. You may put a card with X and its mana cost from among them in your hand. Reveal any number of cards with X in their mana cost in your hand. Add 2 colorless mana for each card revealed this way. Then spend this mana. So, an interesting commander. I don't know. Like the X deck. X is cool. Dreamtide Whale, very nice. Very nice little double rare hit there. Little Dreamtide Whale, Nadier's Nightblade, great little reprinted uncommon there. I mean, fantastic little combo elf. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I mean, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. What's that? Smuggler's Stash from New Capenna? I mean, that's great. Just make a ridiculous amount of tokens and everybody's sitting there like, cool, you have a bunch of garbage. Or like find an outlet that's like, if you make a food, it makes a treasure. You know, there's that guy that, you know, when you make one type of any token, he makes the others. And then I think there's something that like, if you eat a food, you make a one of those loops. Static Prison and foil, but a Nethergoyf. Very, very nice. Another nice mythic hit. And the Kappa Cannoneer. Really nice reprint there. This was the Kamigawa Commander big hit in that blue-white cool like mech vehicles deck, but he's a closer in Modern and maybe Legacy. When he or another artifact enter the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on him and he can't be blocked. So you generate a ton of tokens, go in and close. He's got Ward 4, so they're going to need mana, and he's got Improvise, so he's easy to bring out. So that turtle gets busy. I'll say that. Marionette Apprentice is a great uncommon as well. Black-white, guys, in Limited. I think there's some juice in the Orzhov Limited in this set. Okay. Double-sided. Full art swamp. Love this Emrakul swamp. Skittering precursors right there. And a rare Shill Gengar. So it is Gengar. Like, get your alternate arts ready. There it is. They did it. They're starting to print Pokemon in Magic. Gengar. Sire, Famine. 2 black and 3, and he's a 6/6 flying, so he's pretty good on rate. I mean, he's a 5-drop 6/6 flying, so big body. Sacrifice another creature. You can create a blood token. If you sacrifice an angel this way, create a number of blood tokens equal to its toughness instead. And for white and black together, 3 Orzhov mana and 6 blood tokens. Return each creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter. Those creatures are vampires. So this is for Kalia. Weird that it's got vampires on there, but it is aristocrat effect. He's an Orzhov commander, and he plays with angels and demons. So a cool addition, I think, to add like some combo to Kalia builds there. Probably some cool stuff. I mean, maybe vampires? Maybe? I mean, it does let you throw the yard down and make them vampires, but you need angels and demons too. Once you get too many creature types going on in a card, it's hard to really be tight. Plains and foil, very nice full art plains. Kami of Jealous Thirst. And a Chthonian Nightmare. Black and 1, it's an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. Pay X energy and sacrifice a creature. Return Chthonian Nightmare to your hand. So kind of recurring Nightmare for energy. Like, yeah, they remade Recurring Nightmare. Hopefully that won't come back to bite us in the butt. Yeah, it is funny to see like a couple cards that at times we've been like they've made mistakes in Magic. They are playing in the space of like, can we fix Recurring Nightmare? Can we fix Necropotence? We'll see. Jolted Awake, a 6. Very nice little 6. That's not a bad creature. I think in the right deck, like land-focused decks or graveyard synergies for green, that's going to be fine. Monumental Henge, very nice, one of these lands. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can reveal a historic card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. So nice way to pick up cards in white, artifacts, legends, and sagas. So white likes those types. Like that's very on its part of the pie there. What's interesting, I'll say, is we're halfway through this one. I've opened some good cards in my 2 boxes. I haven't opened a single fetch land yet. Well, you know what? That's all you got to do is complain. Bloodstained Mire. Very, very nice. Weird, creepy art on this. And yeah, black-red needs good fetches. So fixing in Rakdos is great. Bloodstained Mire. Sick. Sapphire Medallion. That's the one medallion we haven't opened yet. So between 2 boxes, we've run the whole table on like a full set of medallions. Glasswing Grace. Pretty beastly aura. It's also a modal. Kind of reminds me, gosh, what was that dope? Shield of the Oversoul? I don't remember, but if you go back to Lorwyn Block, was it Lorwyn Block Shadowmoor, where they had all those hybrid auras that were like, if the creature's X and the creature's this color, they did all those cool things. Man, that awesome swamp. Retrofitted Transmigrant, Flare of Duplication, so the red flare. You can sacrifice a non-token red creature rather than pay its cost. Copy targeted instant sorcery spell. That's a lot of fun. Those copy effects are really cool. Yeah. Reform, Urza's Cave, another, I mean, again, just there's a lot of potential. This Modern Horizons 3 opens a lot of doors. They made some really cool cards here. Kudos to the team that put this set together. Spirit, Legion Leadership in foil. Tamiyo, flip Tamiyo. Let's take a look at her. She's 1 blue and a flying. She's 0/3. Whenever she attacks, investigate. Whenever you draw your 3rd card in a turn, exile Tamiyo. Then return her to the battlefield, transformed. She's got a lot going on here as a Planeswalker. Is she green-blue, even though she doesn't have a mana cost? Look at that frame. And I know Tamiyo is green-blue. That's weird. How do you tell us that without a mana cost? I mean, there's that little pip over there. I guess that indicates it. So she's got 2 loyalty, and for +2 until your next turn, whenever a creature attacks you, it gets -1, so that nice little delay effect. -3 is return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's green, add 1 mana of any color. Saucy, saucy. And her -7 is draw cards equal to half the number of your cards in your library. You get a thing that no maximum hand size. That's fun. That's fine. I'm not sure what the home is for that card. Buried Alive, classic. But that card feels very Tamiyo. And it's nice to see her back, man. It was sad that they killed her off when they Phyrexianized her in the story, man. She's so cool. The more you learn about Tamiyo's lore, I think she's one of the coolest Planeswalkers. The Iron Scrolls, all that stuff. Aether Revolt, we're going to just pass right by that. I don't love it. It lets energy deal damage. Man, I wonder, I don't know if that card's good or not. You know what I mean? You can kill threats on them, like in a more constructed format, maybe in the energy deck, but a 4-drop aura. Who knows? Island, Monstrous Vortex, Nadu, very nice. Another great rare to hit. Nadu is going to be good in a lot of formats. As a commander, as a card in Modern, yeah, we're going to see plenty of Nadu. I've heard some people say they might be calling for a ban on Nadu in Modern. Deep Analysis and foil. Guide of Souls. Haven't seen this guy yet. 1 white. It's a human cleric. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life and energy. So it's a soul sister that also produces energy. I guess it's a soul brother? I don't know. It's a soul they, them. Whenever you attack, you may pay 3 energy. When you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters and a flying counter on target attacking creature, and it becomes an angel. Boy, that card does all kinds of things. So that's an interesting card to keep an eye on. I think that's going to slot into several different builds. Alrighty. We are cruising along, guys. Again, this box has been a blast to open. Like, what a hoot, you know? Nice little art card for Gengar there. Nightshade. Retro frame Volatile Stormdrake. So nice to see you. Very cool little card to get into retro. And there we are. Some more uncommons. Let's just power through. Is there another big mythic hit? We see an Eldrazi. Perilous Landscape. Wrath of the Skies. There it is in rare. You get X energy for 2 white and X, and you may pay any amount of energy. Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with mana value less than an equal. So a board wipe for energy in rare. Oh, Keurig. Very nice. Keurig, son of Yawgmoth. Great to see him reprinted, like the most popular mono black commander there is. He needed a reprint. Yeah, just Phyrexianize your whole life. Get Phyrexed on. Get Phyrexed. Bird, Drownyard Lurker, another Volatile Stormdrake, so 3 on the box with a Sylvan Safekeeper on top. Boy, that's saucy. Almost got our playset of Drake in this box. I think we opened 1 in my other box. We might have, between 2 boxes, got the full playset of Drakes there. That's pretty nice. Let's get the art card out of the way. Sarpadian Simulacrum, very cool. Fallen Empires throwback, Sarpadia. The empires may have fallen, but they're not totally forgotten. Disruptor Flute, the new pithing needle. For 2, it's got Flash, and when it enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with the chosen name cost 3 or more to cast. Activated abilities of the source can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So they kind of realize Pithing Needle has just moved away from its utility in Magic, so they need kind of more of like a tempo surprise, a more interactive, like play it at the right time instead of like plunk it down and lock someone out of doing what they want to do. I love it. Shrieking Drake. Ooh boy. Here's our special guest, and it is Showcase Endurance. Very nice. Beautiful card. Kind of a big hit from Modern Horizons 1. For 2 green and 1, it's an elemental incarnation. It's got Flash. It's got Reach. When Endurance enters the battlefield, up to 1 target player puts all the cards from their graveyard on the bottom of their library in a random order. Booyah. Get your yard yanked. Very cool. That's a beautiful Endurance, too. I really like that. Okay, coming around the stretch there. That was a nice little mythic to rip. Okay, Full Art Swamp, our Emrakul Swamp, Quest for the Necropolis, Shadow of the Second Sun, another very nice mythic. Enchant Player. At the beginning of Enchanted Player's post-combat main phase, there's an additional beginning phase. All kinds of fun stuff. Do it to your opponents, do it to yourself, do it to your friends, do it with your friends. There's all kinds of fun stuff to be had there. Lots of cool deck synergies will come out of that, especially for Commander Brewing, but maybe even... that's too expensive. 6-mana Aura is not getting played in Modern, from what I understand. Deem Inferior in foil. Null Drifter. Regular Null Drifter. Not a bad rare. You know, we like Null Drifter. We do. Okay. Sink into Stupor in foil. Very nice. And Kozilek. Yes, we found a Eldrazi. I love Kozilek's little shape. Like the fact his head's tucked into his little armor. He's so cool looking. For 9, he is, whenever you, a 9/9, and whenever you cast this spell, up to 2 target players each manifest 2 cards from their hands. For each card manifested this way, you draw a card. Other colorless creatures you control get +3/+2. I think generally you're just going to want to manifest yourself. However, the versatility in this is that if your opponent's sitting on some spells you think they want to cast and you can hide them as creatures on the board and kill them, it does let you do card removal. Very interesting, you know. So great mythic there. Leolia is a nice little extra rare bonus to our Kozilek pack. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, here we go. Boom. Sneaky Snacker, sorry. Eldrazi Linebreaker. Okay, this guy, you know what? He's on offensive tackle. This guy's coming around. He's the Nick Bosa of the Eldrazi. He's the Linebreaker, bro. Red, a colorless and 1 generic. He's got Devoid. He's got Trample. He's a 3/3 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Target creature you control gains haste and +X/+0, where X is the number of Eldrazi you control. So great aggro spawn. That's probably a great hit in Limited. You see that guy come up, probably take that and then figure you're going to be red aggro Eldrazi's. Maybe red-green with Eldrazi spawn tokens. He's probably a bulk rare after that. Island, Volt Storm Angel, beautiful card. Devourer of Destiny, another nice little rare. 2 colorless and 5 generic. You may reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of your first upkeep, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can put one of those cards back on top of your library, exile the rest. Whenever you cast a spell, exile target permanent that's 1 or more colors. So some interesting synergy there. Gives you kind of a looting ley line effect. Early game with some hand fixing, which actually in Constructed might be really strong. And then even for Eldrazi decks, but also how much casting spells from exile has become a thing in Commander. That's an interesting card. Swamp. Tune the Narrative, the Spymaster's Vault, another one of the cool new lands. When it enters the battlefield, tapped unless you control a swamp, and you can tap to add a black, and target creature you control connives X, where X is the number of creatures that died this turn. And when you connive X, you draw X cards, then discard X cards, and put a +1/+1 counter. So kind of like a variant on Explore. Connive, yeah. Okay, last 2 packs. Eldrazi Spawn, very nice. A Mountain. Hexgold Slith. Ooh, that's a hit. Showcase Ugin's Labyrinth. Let's go. What a great little box we got here. Yeah, Showcase Ugin's Labyrinth. Beautiful art. Imprint. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile a colorless card with mana 7 or greater from your hand. Tap and add 2 colorless. If the card exiled with Ugin's Labyrinth, add 2. So kind of a new Ancient Tomb. And then return it to your hand. Like, yeah, I mean, hold on to those. It's a new Ancient Tomb. Like, ooh, and we got an Omo. So very nice little Commander Mythic there. A hybrid Simic with 2, and whenever she enters the battlefield, or they enter the battlefield and attack, put an everything counter on up to 1 target land and up to 1 target creature. Each land with an everything counter on it's every land type, and each creature is every creature type. That's fun. That's shenanigans. Like that, I love that because that to me lets the Commander Johnny go crazy and just come up with all kinds of fun brews. So very cool. All right, last pack. Haven't seen an Ulamog, but we will take 2. We will take the Ugin's Vault. Boom. Thriving Skybeast. Polluted Delta. Let's quit your crying. It's Polluted Delta. It is the marquee allied fetch land that has always been a ton of money. Polluted Delta, baby. And the Corgi. Felia. So there you have it, guys. Yeah, quick little recap. Here we go. Our mythics were Showcase Ugin's Labyrinth, Kozilek, Shadow of the Second Sun, Special Guest Endurance, Tamiyo, Nethergoyf, Flage, Recruiter of the Guard, a foil Necrodominance, and Eladamri. In your rare slot, we got all kinds of fun stuff. 2 fetches, Devourer of Destiny, you know, a couple volatile Storm Drakes, Keurig, Nadu. So some great stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I can't wait to just pick through all these cards, check out all the awesome value I have. And again, it just lets you brew so many formats. Thanks for watching. Open some Modern Horizons 3. Peace.